Hi, second graders. Miss Shannon here with your comprehension skill practice for today, Friday. We are going to be using the book Brave Bessie. You should have listened to this story yesterday as your read aloud. So we are going to look at this story a little closer today and practice our comprehension skill of putting the order of events in order or in sequence. A reminder that the sequence tells the order of ideas in a selection or in a book. We can use the words first, next, then, and last to tell the order of what happens. In this case, the story of Bessie Coleman is a biography, the story of her life. So we are going to work together to tell the story of Bessie's life in order or putting it in sequence. We will continue to use this graphic organizer, which we have been using this week, using our sequence words first, next, then, and last. For this assignment, I would like you to use your composition notebook, turn to the next fresh page, and label it with our comprehension strategy, which is sequence, and the title of our story, Brave Bessie. Then you will draw this graphic organizer, so you'll have 4 rectangle boxes. So take time to prepare your page before continuing with the video. So press pause and then play again when you're ready. Okay, so we are going to look a little bit closer at our story, Brave Bessie. We're going to start at the beginning, which represented the beginning of Bessie's life. So we want to look for events or things that she did that were important and helped shape who she became. So we are going to zoom in a little closer on these words. Okay, I'm going to read this out loud to you. Twice a year, a library wagon would stop in front of Bessie Coleman's little house in Texas. Bessie's mom would rent books for her 12 children to read. Bessie loved to read about Booker T. Washington and Harriet Tubman. They were her heroes. Bessie daydreamed of being someone special like them. So I'm going to stop and think about what Bessie did early in life. Well, I saw that at the beginning of the story, we were told about the library wagon and that Bessie loved to read. This is where her love of reading began and when she started to think about who she wanted to become. She wanted to be someone special like her heroes. So this is really where her dream began. So we can say that first, Bessie read books from the library wagon. You could also say, Bessie loved to read books from the library wagon. You can make the sentence your own. But that is what happened first based on the biography of Bessie Coleman. Press pause if you need to and play when you're ready to continue. Okay, second graders, here we are on the second page. So I am going to reread these 2 pages and we're going to think about what happened next in Bessie's life that was important and led to the next event in her life. So listen as I read aloud. Bessie knew school was important. Yes, it is. She walked 4 miles each day to get to school and 4 miles home. She practiced reading to her little brothers and sisters. She practiced her numbers by checking the money her family got for picking cotton. Bessie scrimped and saved enough so she could go to college. She went to college at 18, but left after only a few months. She could not afford to stay in school. But Bessie was not ready to give up on her dreams. She decided to move to Chicago. Her brothers Walter and John lived there. It was a big and exciting city where people's dreams came true. I'm going to stop for a moment. I remember that the story began with Bessie reading books from the library wagon, and daydreaming about who she could become. And here we see now that she has moved to Chicago. She says, to an exciting city where people's dreams come true. So this is the next step in reaching her dreams. Let's continue on and see what happens to her when she moves to Chicago. Bessie soon got a job in a barber shop. Bessie enjoyed listening to John tell stories about French lady pilots in World War I. Bessie had never heard of a lady pilot. The more Bessie thought, the more she liked the idea. Bessie knew she could learn to fly, too. So I'm going to stop and think once again. I'm thinking about what Bessie's dreams are. We're following her life story. She has just moved to Chicago, and now we can start to see her dream coming to life. What is she hoping to do or hoping to become? So we see that she is now in Chicago, and she is really interested in learning about lady pilots, so women who flew planes during World War I. And now she's thinking that she would like to learn how to fly planes too. So this is the next detail in Bessie's life. So for our box labeled next, we will say, next, Bessie moved to Chicago and learned about pilots who were women. So that was the next step in her life. Press pause as you write down your sentence and play again when you're ready to continue. Okay, now for the next two boxes, for then and last, you are going to come up with your own sentences. I will walk you through the next 2 pages in our book, Brave Bessie, but it is going to be up to you to determine what were the most important parts or events in Bessie's life. So in Chicago, she became very interested in women pilots. She wanted to become a pilot herself. And we can see here on this page on the left, I will read that page out loud. What happens next in Bessie's life? One day, Bessie met a very important man who worked at a newspaper. She asked him if he knew anyone that could teach her how to fly a plane. He told Bessie to go to France. That is where she had first heard of lady pilots. He told her it would be a lot of work, but Bessie was determined to succeed. She took classes and learned to speak French. She saved her money and was finally able to buy a ticket to France. So second graders, think about where was Bessie going and why was she going there? Okay. You can answer those questions. That will lead you to your sentence for the box labeled then. And once Bessie was in France, what did she finally learn how to do? That will lead you to your final box or order of events for Bessie Coleman. So it is your turn to fill in those last 2 boxes. Once again, you can go back and rewind this video to listen to me read those pages again, or read the pages on your own to think about what happened then and last in Bessie Coleman's life. After you're finished, you will take a picture of your finished work in your composition notebook and put it on this slide. If your camera is not working, you can use the final slide on the slideshow and type in your answers on the graphic organizer. Second graders, I appreciate you thinking about the order of events in our book today. And as you read your own books, be thinking about the order of events for the characters in your books. What happens first, next, then, and last? Can you retell the story to someone at your house? Practicing order of events every time you read. Thanks for working with me today, second graders. See you soon.